Okay, cool. We are live. So, yeah, might as well get straight into it. What's happening, everyone? What's happening, brothers? Hope you're well. We've got a special guest on today on the Maxx Theory Show. We've got Adam Lyons, one of the top guys in the game, literally the game, and in terms of like social dynamics and relationships. Adam's been in this for over a decade, well over a decade, right?
16 years now.
16 years. Wow. And it's crazy because it's such a small world. We connected on Facebook, and it turns out we actually went to the same college.
Yeah. That was crazy.
And we actually grew up in the same area as well, which is crazy. So yeah, we just connected, and it's a pleasure to have Adam on. Adam's award-winning dating coach. That's what he was. I'm not sure if you still hold on to that title. Do you still hold on to that?
Yeah, it's funny. I was the last person to get the award when they were still giving it. After that, I got it 3 years in a row, and then they stopped it. So technically, I still got it, but
And it was the reigning champion, the reigning.
Because no one else is playing.
But yeah, so Adam's got so much experience. Obviously we've got an hour. I just want to get as much value for you guys and for myself. I'm going to sneak in some, try to get some value for myself as well. But yeah, Adam, for everyone who doesn't know, who's been living under a rock, obviously just tell them about yourself and your kind of your story to today and what you do basically.
Yeah, man, it all started in school. I grew up in Canning Town, just outside of a part of East London. I was born in Whitechapel. For anyone that doesn't know Canning Town, it's a different place now. Back when I was younger, it was proper violent. And we had tons of like school conflict. There was like fights between schools. But I lived in Canning Town, but I went to school in Cannes. So you guys are gonna notice I have a Cockney accent. It comes out deep when I talk to somebody from London, so it's gonna get thicker the more I'm chatting. But yeah, what happened is I would have to go through two other schools, Woodside and Cumberland, wearing the Brampton Manor uniform, and I would get attacked. So from like the age of 11 until 15, I got beaten up in the street by gangs of like 15 youths, knocked me out in the subway, left me for dead, bleeding. And so I just didn't go out. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I became the biggest introvert. I sat indoors. I played Dungeons and Dragons, and I was a massive nerd. And I just didn't want to socialize with people. And what's funny is I've been doing martial arts since I was 5 years old. So like, I remember the amount of times I was like, I could break this person's arm or I could smash that person in the face. And I was so worried about getting arrested because all my friends were getting arrested and going to juvie for getting in fights and stabbings and stuff, that I just didn't fight back. I just let them do it. And I became a super recluse. I wasn't confident. I couldn't talk to women. I was like skinny fat. If you guys know what skinny fat is, it's where you got like a big stomach but skinny arms. So I was skinny fat. And yeah, I wasn't even allowed to play Dungeons and Dragons in the Dungeons and Dragons Club because the kids in the Dungeons and Dragons Club thought that having me in there would get them bullied more often. So I had to watch. I would sit in the background watching people play Dungeons and Dragons in the Dungeons and Dragons Club. So like that was, school sucked, to be honest with you. And I got voted least likely to ever get a girlfriend. All the kids in school wrote on the blackboard. The teacher wrote like, who's most likely to get rich? Who's most likely to build a business? Who's most likely to be prime minister? And then the kids erased it. It was like, who's most likely to be gay? Who's most likely to be a loser? And unanimously, the whole school, who's most likely to never get a girlfriend? Like Adam will never get a girlfriend. And I owned it. I owned it until 26 years old. I was like, yeah, I'm never going to get a girlfriend. Like, all the kids in school knew best. And I wanted a girlfriend. I tried to learn. And every so often I'd get a girlfriend, but it was always bad. They'd always cheat on me. And it was this one that I'll never forget. It was the last one before I learned game. She was cheating on me. I knew about it for 6 months. And I let her keep cheating because I didn't want to be single. So I would pay the bills. I paid for her car. I paid for everything. Then she went out, fucked someone else, came home, slept in bed next to me, passed out, wouldn't have sex with me because she just fucked somebody else. And I was okay with it because I didn't want anyone to think I was single. And like no one knew except me, And like that was okay. And one day I had enough. I just got so angry because she treated me like shit. She would like shout at me and stuff. And I was like, I'm done. I was like, you shout at me one more time, we're done. And she shouted at me straight away. And she didn't even wait 2 seconds, just screamed in my face. And was like, don't you fucking tell me we're done. I was like, we're done. It's over. We're done. Leave. So I went to work the next day feeling like a badass. It was like the first time I'd stood up for myself against a woman. And I was like, yeah, I'm awesome. While I was out, she came to my apartment. My roommate was home, and her and her new boyfriend stole everything. She took my TV, my PlayStation. She took my shower curtain. She took everything. She took my bookcase, left all the books on the floor, but took my bookcase, took my TV. I had nothing. So I come home that night, and my roommate's sitting on the floor. And first of all, I was like, why are you sitting on the floor? And then I realized we don't have a sofa. I'm like, why don't we have a sofa? And he's like, dude, your girl came by with her new boyfriend. They took everything. I was like, and this guy's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, built like as big as you. And he's like, I didn't know what to say. No, what do you mean? You did just say anything. How about don't steal shit? Phone the cops. And he's like, I'm sorry, bro. So that was it. The only thing that was left was that my books are on the floor, and there was a copy of The Game by Neil Strauss. A friend of mine gave it to me, and he's like, dude, you're such a nerd. You know so much about strategy because of all the games you play. He's like, you were built for this book. He's like, trust me, read this book, and you will know more about dating than anyone. And so I read The Game. I got halfway through. I signed up on my first boot camp with a couple of guys in London, went out there, saw that it was all fucking bullshit, but there was something about it. What they were teaching wasn't accurate. It didn't match with what I knew about psychology, because I'd studied psychology and public relations. I was like, what they're saying doesn't, like, the reasons they're given are wrong, but there's something about this, like the way they're talking is working. So day one of the boot camp, I decided to just watch and listen. And I got involved. If someone's like, I remember they got me to do, the kissing bandit. This is the stupidest thing. So you'd stand in the middle of Leicester Square, women walk by you, and you go, yo, 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 I'm the kissing bandit. You can't get past unless you kiss me. By the way, now that would get you arrested. Like in 2006, that was okay. Now, maybe it wasn't ever okay, but whatever. I did it, and everyone's like, don't fucking talk to me. And I'd be like, whoa, that just didn't work at all. And the guys in the boot camp was like, see, that's rejection. Does it really hurt? And I was like, you know what? They have a point. Like, maybe it didn't hurt. Maybe if I wasn't weird and asking to be a kissing bandit, maybe something could have happened. So Saturday night comes around, and there's this nightclub, Café de Paris. It's closed down now, but it was for a while. I pretty much ran that whole club scene, which we'll get to. Anyway, there's two dancing girls outside. So 12 dudes on a boot camp go and talk to one of the girls over and over again, and they all fail using some like pickup line, like they're a lighter repair salesman or some shit. And so I walk up to this chick, and I'm like, yo, did 12 weirdos just walk up to you and ask you if you could help them because they're lighter repair salesmen? I just threw them all under the bus. And she was like, yeah. I was like, that's fucking weird, isn't it? And she goes, it is weird. I was like, I saw it. I thought I'd come over and, you know, next time some weirdo comes up to you, I'll tell him to fuck off. And she's like, I appreciate it. So I get the girl's phone number. Now everyone on the boot camps, who the fuck's this guy? Beginning of the day, he knew nothing. Now he can do it. So I spend the next month obsessing about testing stuff. I go out, I bought Dating for Dummies. I bought every book, everything on Game. I read every forum. But I decided quickly that all the shit online was bullshit, but the psychology studies were real. So I bought the Handbook of Relationship Initiation. If you want to save your money on dating advice, go out and buy the Handbook of Relationship Initiation. It's a book. It's about this thick. It's horrible to read. I've read it twice. But yeah, you want to know what's in my head, read that book twice. You will be Adam Lyons. And so I tested every study, every theory. It got to a point that I rapidly realized there's only 3 things that make you naturally attractive. Only 3. It ain't looks, it ain't money, it ain't status. It's just 3 things. And one of those things is social proof, other women thinking you're cool. So I was like, all right. So I start going to nightclubs, and I roll deep with groups of women, 5, 10 groups, like 10 women at a time. So I'm going in the nightclub with these women just to get laid. So I go in, these are my friends. I ain't ever touching them, or, you know, it's my social proof. They used to call it my entourage. And I used to have a program, projectentourage.com. And Project Entourage didn't teach people about dating. It just, I'd roll deep with these women. So one day I go to the nightclub, and you know, I talk to other women, and I'm like, these are my girls. The next thing you know, I'm taking girls home. And I decide I don't want to go to the club that night. The club phones me. Adam, you got to come to the club. I'm like, I ain't coming to your club tonight. I'm staying at home. I got my girl here. I'm good. And they're like, you got to come to the club because we need your girls. Turns out these clubs have been advertising the membership area as being cool because I would bring 10, 20 women there, and it looked cool. So now they're like, you got to come. We'll pay you for it. Now you got to remember, at this point, I'm a janitor. I don't teach dating. I just get myself laid. I actually called myself AFC Adam so people would stop trying to learn from me, because I didn't want anyone taking my girls. So it was my girls. I'm AFC Adam. Don't even fucking learn from me. Meanwhile, I'm banging hot girls every night. Like, and I'm still chubby fat, you know, like skinny fat. I'm still fucking ugly, but I've got all the hottest girls. And they all want to come partying with Adam, and then they want to suck my dick at the end of the night. So they start offering me insane amounts of money, dude. Like, I say, like $1,000 a night to bring women to the club. So I'm like, yo, done. So I would bring 50, 60. On my birthday in 2008, that was like towards the back end when I was doing this, I brought 500 women into a club with me. 500 alone. Just texted them, yo, come with me. And fucking, they all rocked up. I had a wingman. It was me and a wingman. I say alone. It was 2 of us. But 500 women between the 2 of us. That night, I took 8 women to bed, all in matching underwear, matching dresses. That was my life. And then one day, people realized, yo, I think this guy is AFC Adam, but I think he's lying. I think he's ironic. I think he's actually good. And so people start trying to offer me money to teach him dating. I remember this one time, this guy's like, I'll give you $100. I'm like, £100. I'm like, fuck off. £200. Fuck off, dude. I'm not sharing my women with you. He's like, 10 grand. And suddenly I'm like, come again? I'll give you 10 grand if you will come out with me tonight and show me what you can do. I was like, I ain't got to guarantee you results. He's like, no. I was like, all right, done. Gives me 10 grand. I go into Cafe de Paris. I'm like, pick a woman. He points to a girl. I'm like, watch. Walk up to her, make out with her within about 2 minutes. And then she's like all over me, hanging up to me. I'm like, come meet my friend. I come and introduce her to him. And he goes, have you met him before? And she goes, no, just now. I was like, what are you lying? We were having sex 2 weeks ago. And she starts giggling. I was like, yeah, she loves it up the arse. She won't admit it publicly. And then the guy starts cracking up. She's cracking up. And she goes, I never have sex with somebody, like anal sex. I was like, yet love. We've already done it in another world. Trust me. And that was it. So now I've got all these women. I've got all this sex, but people want me to teach them dating. So I realized there's a lot of money in it. But more importantly, there's a lot of really sad guys out there. And this is what I start realizing. Because I'm like, who's going to pay 10 grand to learn this stuff? And then I realized a lot of people are spending a lot more money on dates that go wrong, spending money on trying to buy fancy suits and nice cars, and none of it works. So since 2007, realistically, I've been out there. So what's that, 14 years, but I've been studying it for 16, I suppose. I've been out there teaching dating to as many people as I can find, teaching them like the 3 things that make people naturally attractive, and where I am today. So now I live in Texas. I'm currently dating 2 women. I was famous for dating 2 women on the internet, which I know you probably saw. I split up with one of them about 1.5 years ago for lots of reasons. There's more to relationships than just relationships and sex. There are other factors. But I replaced her within 4 hours. I actually made a post on Facebook. It was highly controversial. That night I went, because I've been teaching forever. When you break up with someone, meet somebody else. So the night I broke up with her, I made an announcement. That night I went out and I posted a picture of me naked with my fat gut hanging out over this super hot girl in suspenders, beautiful chick. I'm still seeing her now. So yeah, that's my life.
Wow. Where do we begin, Flippin? That's a lot. Where do we start? And for anyone watching, just Google Adam Lyons. You'll see these interviews. Like, it's crazy because even before we started talking and we connected, I kept on getting recommendations of, I think it was this morning, like an ITV, which is like, if you're watching from the US, it's like one of the top stations in the UK. And you got there was the thumbnail of you and 2 women. And, I kept on seeing, I was like, when you see something, but you just don't click on it. And and after we spoke, I clicked on it. I was like, wow, this guy is for real. So
it cracks me up because when I first started teaching dating, remember, I was already having sex with tons of women in the background, right? I was doing it. And then I started teaching and everyone's like, who the fuck's this AFC motherfucker? Like, people hated me. And when I went live on TV with having 2 girlfriends, there was this one guy I'm never going to forget. He was writing a forum. He goes, first of all, I hate Adam. He's like, I don't know why. I've never met the guy. I just hate him. And people hate me for some reason. So I'm like, whatever. And he goes, but you got to respect the guy. He said that the easiest way to meet women was to take groups of women to nightclubs. And we all made fun of him. We were all like, fuck you. That's not the easiest way. If you could meet one girl, then you wouldn't need to go and meet 20. And if you could meet 20, you could easily get 1. He's like, but now years later, we're all doing social proof game. We're all doing social status. He's like, Adam did it first. We all made fun of him, but he was right. And then Adam said that can lead to depression. So you got to start getting into some serious relationships. And Adam went out and he got married and we were laughing at him because he got married. And then lately we all started realizing that we're getting depressed because we don't have deep relationships. And once again, this motherfucker was right. He's like, and then when he broke up with his wife, we were like, what a loser. He can't keep a relationship. And Adam comes out with 2 girls. And he's like, there is a point where you have to look at this man, whether you like him or not, and just be like, Adam knows what's up. He knows what he's doing. And we should stop hating and start listening to this fucker because he knows what's up. And that's where I am in life. Like, I got it. Dating is easy. Dating is a piece of cake. I can help anyone, anywhere. It cracks me up because I showed you my students, Jeffrey Lammy, and you're like, no way that guy is dating those women. No way. And yet we get field reports from this guy all the time, posting pictures of the women that he's going on dates with. Either he is the best liar ever and he's so good at Photoshop, or he is legitimately going out on dates with beautiful women in restaurants. But I'd say beautiful, they're better than him. Yeah, we have this one, this testimonial. This one cracks me up. I don't know if you saw this one. This one is like one of my favorite testimonials. It's from a guy, he's 425 pounds, this guy. And he put it on one of my Facebook ads because people were, you know, being like, there's no way this is real or whatever, you know, this is all fake. And then out of nowhere, he decides to write this. So I screenshot it. He goes, I'd like to say, before taking Adam Lyons' advice and listening to his ideas, I was very single. I was facing rejection 85% of the time. There's probably more than that, so it's at least 85%. He goes, since taking his advice, I'm now dating a full-time, a wonderful, beautiful woman who is so smart she works at NASA. This guy lives in Houston, so that's where NASA's based. He goes, as well as seeing other women on the weekend because she's agreed to an open relationship. I've picked up bartenders, strippers, and models. I am a 425-pound man. I am not the kind of guy you see walk into a club with strippers on his arms, and yet, because of Adam's training, I am. We have this down to a science because dating, look, I always explain to people, you think about, like, if you look at celebrity relationships, let's look at the most obvious comparison, Donald Trump and his wife, Melania. Now, you're telling me that Donald Trump attracted her based on his physical beauty. You know what I mean? Donald Trump does not look good. So instantly everyone's like, yeah, but he's got money and he's got status. That's the next thing that comes up, right? They're like, it's money and status. But then if we pick somebody who's good looking but doesn't have money and status, they'll be like, it's because he's good looking. But everyone on this planet knows somebody who is a musician, who is not very attractive and smelly, doesn't have any money, never has a regular job, and yet he's always getting hot chicks. Everyone knows someone like that. Some dude who's got like a little fucking guitar, and they'll be like, yeah, but it's because he can play the guitar. Anyone can fucking play the guitar. But it's nothing about the fact that he plays the guitar. It's everything about the fact that when someone plays the guitar, a group of people will sit and listen to you. That group of people instantly give you social proof, which is one of the biggest factors of pre-selection, which is attraction. They have done studies. They take a picture of a guy. This is true psychological studies. You see it in the book I was talking about. Take a photo of a guy, and then they will Photoshop badly 2 women looking at the guy, smiling at him. Same picture of the guy, one with Photoshop, one without. They will go around with that picture of the guy and ask women to rate the guy on a scale of 1 to 10. And they'll be like 6, 7, whatever. The same photo, but Photoshopped in with the 2 women, he will score 2 points higher. There is no other psychological thing you can do to jump 2 points in physical attraction. The picture of me, so there's a test you can do. It's like Photo Feeler or something, where you can get people to rate your attractiveness. And I've got pictures of me where I Photoshop my body to look like I'm like amazing. I've got pictures of me with sunglasses and a nice car looking like I'm a fucking baller. The picture of me that does the best is my Facebook profile picture, which is in a Dungeons and Dragons t-shirt. And I'm just like fucking smiling like a dweeb. But women, what they're attracted to is a combination of 1, knowing that other women like you. 2, knowing that you are experienced enough to hold down a conversation in a way that doesn't offend them and push the conversation into areas that stretch them. And then lastly, 3, you got to know how to turn them on. You got to know how to escalate. You have to know what makes a woman get turned on. You do these 3 things and every woman, it doesn't matter what you look like. And like, there are factors, right? Like I always say to someone, if you score yourself on a 1 to 10, if you believe in that game, I personally don't believe in the 10-part scale. I have a 3-part scale. Do you know the 3-part scale? The 3-part scale is I would, but wouldn't tell anyone, and I wouldn't. And that's the 3-part scale. And it's much more realistic, right? It's like I would, but I'm not going to go and brag about it. I would, I'm going to tell the whole world, and then I wouldn't, right? But I find that if you think about league, you can always date someone significantly better than you, but it's only ever going to be 2 points above your league, right? So if you are broke and you're physically unattractive, but you're fun to be with, and you've got a group of people, like a bunch of women that think you're fun, and you know how to turn people on, then you're going to be able to date somebody who's significantly better than you. But they're not going to be a porn star. Now, I've dated porn stars, and if you look at the kind of quality of people porn stars date, they're kind of average people. they're just people that know how to punch above their weight. But the one thing that you'll get, like porn stars especially, is the guys are funny. Humor is such a big factor in attraction that people don't realize. And it's one of the reasons that we teach it, you know, because it comes from experience. It comes from being good in conversation and knowing like what is funny and what is offensive. And it always cracks me up nowadays. We're in this world where men think that, you know, not all men, but there's a lot of men that are like, she gets too offended too quickly. It's no good. She doesn't understand my humor. But actually, if you're good at dating, your humor wouldn't offend anyone. You'd be able to word it in a way that doesn't upset somebody, you know? And so it's funny. Like I got this joke that I'll often say to feminists specifically. And I love this one. I'm like, hey, you love this. You love this. All right. Well, I'll do it to you, man, JP. All right, ready? So what do you call a woman on the moon?
On the moon.
Yeah, go on.
A woman on the moon. I've got no idea.
Go on. Yes. I love it too. Feminists so angry the minute I said, what?
It's a myth or something like that.
A myth, right? No, it's called an astronaut. What's wrong with you? It's an astronaut. Doesn't matter that she's a woman.
Okay.
But feminists will do that. I bet you're going to say like a miracle or something like that, or impossible, or a pipe dream, right? And I'm like, no, it's an astronaut. Why can't you think of that? Women can be astronauts too. But that's the kind of, it's funny, that kind of humor. They're like, oh no, I'm wrong. I'm like, yeah, you're a male chauvinist. But that kind of humor, because real humor is all about setting someone up to believe something, and then you undercut it, and they're like, oh, I didn't see that coming, right? But it's hysterical because I have feminists ready to murder me. And then they realize that they're the one that's made an assumption and that there's nothing wrong with saying astronaut, right? So it's just understanding these kind of like social dynamics and knowing what you can get away with, what you can't get away with. But once you disarm someone like that and they start laughing, it's over because we get into this in our program, but laughter triggers oxytocin, which is the bonding chemical. And the bonding chemical is the one that makes someone decide to fuck you. And it's 4 steps. It starts with conversation, good conversation, then laughter, then physical touch, then sex. And anyone that tries to skip those phases fails. So I meet guys all the time that are like, hey, baby, you know you want this. And the guy's like, fuck off. No, I don't. And the guy's like, she wants it. But she doesn't. It's obvious she doesn't. He's just delusional. But if you can have a great conversation and you can make her laugh and you can make her comfortable enough that she's touching you, you can turn around and have sex with her almost always. Now, obviously, assuming she's single and she's available to it. But that's something guys don't even think about it. In fact, psychologists have known for since what, 90s, 98, I think, that there are 12 steps to physical escalation. Most dating people never bother learning that. So they're like, yeah, first you touch her, then you kiss her. And I'm like, no, there's 12 steps, dumbass. Like, know all of them. Like, you should know every step of physical escalation. And when you know it, you're going to hit every single one and it won't fail. More importantly, if I go from like step 4 to step 5, which is where we start going into some more intimate touching, and I can tell that she's not happy, then I know that I haven't satisfied step 4. So I'll pull back and just sit at step 4 for a while. And I've had other dating coaches watch this and they'll be like, yo, you're failing, you're plateaued. I'm like, nope, she ain't ready for stage 5 yet. And then they'll push, get rejected, and they don't know why. And I'm like, because you have to pace it. She has to be very comfortable with step 4 before you go to step 5. Then you can go to step 6 and so on and so forth. And like a massive one that most guys don't teach. They used to teach it back in the day, but they don't anymore. You know, the whole high five. Remember pickup artists back in the day would high five everyone. High five, high five, high five. So what people don't realize is the high five was actually doing something very important. It was triggering the first step of sex, because the number one sexual organ that humans have is their hands. Hands are always involved in sex. And most people don't think of it as a sexual organ, which means that if I can take my hand and her hand and I can touch hands like this, I'm having sex. I have to excuse my hands, they're dirty. I've been painting all day. So this is sex. And so this action of linking hands with a woman will mentally get her ready for feeling more comfortable being more intimate with you. And it's a step that most guys miss. But I'll tell my students, like, they're like, when do I get a phone number? I'm like, after you can hold her hand. And they're like, you want me to hold hands with a girl? I'm like, you sound like you're a 7-year-old in fucking kindergarten. Like, relax. Yes, you're going to hold hands. You think you're going to have sex with me if you can't hold hands? Come on, man. You're going to hold hands. But once you hold hands with somebody, you see a complete change in their physiology towards you because they feel protected. Like, oh yeah, this guy, that's what happens. We hold hands, you know? Like, and then when do I go for a kiss? Or like, when do I get a phone number? When do I go for a kiss? I'm like, after you hold hands, you can hug her. And they're like, oh, now I got a hug. Like, yes, you got a hug her. And like, what comes next? I was like, a forehead kiss. And they're like, why a forehead kiss? I'm like, because the only people that have ever kissed her forehead are her boyfriends and her dad. You want to be in that category. And he's like, what if she says no? I was like, well, then you didn't hug her correctly. This is very simple. And you just know the steps and you go through it. So when we teach, there is no step skipped. And we will be anal about making sure the students do it. You know, we have a whole 6-month program we guide people through. They have to do every step and we analyze it. And then by the time you're at the end, it's like this guy is 425 pounds dating a NASA woman. Of course, he's fun. He's hysterical to hang out with. And he feels protecting because he's 425 pounds. Like when he hugs her, she feels safe. Because he's strong. You have to be strong to lift 425 pounds. You know, you probably lift 425 pounds. It's a lot of weight he's carrying around. He's a strong guy, even though he's not fit. You know, I wouldn't put him forward in a marathon, but you know, I would if I had to pick up a piece of furniture. I trust him. And so that's the point. So he's got this physical strength that is appealing to women. And then he's escalated up correctly, provides her with good conversation, and he knows how to turn her on in a way that makes her feel comfortable. And suddenly she's dating a lumberjack, you know, and she's like, whatever, this guy's great. So yeah, dating, I teach people, it's a solved game. We already know the answers. We've known the answers forever. It's not surprising. It's not difficult. But, you know, to be honest, there has been censorship on social media over the last 10 years. You know, like I said, once upon a time, I could run out in Leicester Square and run up to people and be joking around, pretending I'm a kissing bandit. Obviously, it's not real. I never kissed somebody on purpose. Like, I didn't just jump out and kiss them. I was joking. But now that would be offensive. Like, I would be harassing them. And so, you know, society changes. What's happened, though, is the guys that are good at this, just like me back in the day, they've gone underground. Why should I share? Why do I have to tell anyone? And so the best people have vanished. And now we're in an influencer society where everyone's a fucking expert online. And the shit people teach is BS. And I'm watching them do it. And I'm like, you guys are worse than the shit people back in the day. But they just want views. Like I saw somebody, I know this person, right? I'm not going to say their name, but I know them. They don't know anything about dating. I know this because they wanted to hire me to create a dating program. They literally said, I don't know anything about dating, but I've got 30,000 followers on TikTok and I want to be a dating expert. So can you give me a dating program and I'll sell that and I'll do it. And I was like, yeah, I'm down for it. The next day, they start teaching dating advice. They're not like, I learned this lesson from this guy, Adam. They're just teaching dating advice. The first thing they say, if a woman flakes on your first date, dump her, she's bad news. That is the very first piece of advice they say. Like, this is really good advice. And all these guys like, yeah, that makes sense. Fuck that bitch. If she cancels on her first date, screw her. All right. We're literally at the time of filming this in COVID times with lockdowns. You really think it's acceptable to cancel on somebody who, in the middle of lockdown, quarantine, everything going on, summits come up and they can't meet you, or maybe they got you know a little bit scared, they got cold feet because they're worried that maybe you aren't safe from COVID or whatever, right? That we're gonna hold that against them, or maybe they got asked to stay back behind work, or maybe it's her period. Maybe she wanted to fuck you on day one, but she can't because she's on her period and she didn't know that, so now she's pushing it off. There are so many reasons why somebody might flake on a first date. You'd be much better off being what we used to say back in the day, which is unreactive. If someone says they're flaking, you just like, hey, no problem whatsoever. You know what? I got a bunch of other friends I'm going to hang out with anyway. It's totally chill. Best luck. Listen, if you wanna, you know, reschedule, let me know. Otherwise, no problem. So I'm basically like, yeah. If you don't want to meet up, fuck it. I'm going to go and do something else. If you want to reschedule, let me know. If not, piss off. Right? Very chill. And you'd be surprised. No, it's not like that. I definitely want to see you. I'm like, okay, great. Those chicks that then turn up are super into you because they feel bad that they flake. And then, yeah, sure, the ones that flake, whatever. But I'm not pretending I'm hanging out with my friends and sitting indoors and masturbating. I'm actually going to go and hang out with some friends. I'm going to go and have a life and do some cool shit. Usually with other women because of pre-selection. And we have known for decades that technique is better than being like, well, fuck you, I'm not going to date you then because you didn't turn up. Because if you say that and it was a legitimate excuse, let's just say this girl's banging hot, right? Say she's a painting and you're like, yo, this girl's super hot. I really want her. And she flaked for a legitimate reason. you're an asshole and it's over. And now you will never date that woman, ever, ever, ever. Yeah. So it's like, I think about this like Eve, right? Eve, I've been dating Eve for 8 years now. And the first night that I went out with Eve, we didn't have sex because I didn't want to push it and I could feel that she wasn't into it. And in fact, my other girlfriend, that I'm currently dating, the one I've been dating for over 1.5 years, the first time that we hung out, we just went and got a coffee. Nothing, no pressure. We didn't do anything that first night because again, we just wanted to flirt and sort of like, see how we get on. And then we met up later on and then had sex. But you got to move when the other person's comfortable. They're going to let you know how they feel based on them. And that's how we react, So yeah, dude, there's so much bad dating advice out in the world right now that is like screwing up so many people, and people just want to be influenced. And the thing is, if it sounds good, people are going to be like, yeah, do it. Like if I said to people, like, and this is not real advice, but if I said to someone, don't date a woman unless you're earning $32,000 a year, because that's what it costs on average to date someone, there'd be people being like, oh, that makes so much sense. Yeah, okay, I get it. But it's shit and not true. The reality is, there's a documentary made about me called The Rules of Seduction. You can find it online. And in the documentary, there's another guy, a buddy of mine, Darren, and he was broke and just sleeping with women, and they were paying for everything in his life, his food. He slept on their sofas or in their beds. And his whole life was paid for by other women who were covering everything. You don't need to have money to be successful. You don't need to with women. I like thinking of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Do you know Maslow's hierarchy? Yeah. So Maslow's hierarchy, number 1, immediate danger. If somebody pulls out a gun and aims it at me, I don't care about whether I'm having sex that night. And I also don't care what I'm eating for dinner. Those two things don't matter. Just please don't shoot me, right? Number 2, it's no longer about immediate safety, it's long-term safety. Am I going to eat tonight? Do I have somewhere to live? And I don't care about having sex if I don't have food, right? Now, once we've got long-term safety covered, not rich, just long-term safety, number 3 is relationships. So the third most important thing is, who am I dating? Am I happy? Am I in love? When third is settled, number 4 comes next, which is success. That's where you make money. You start thinking about looking after your body and getting in shape. You look at people like Jeff Bezos, right? When he was grinding and working hard before he built Amazon, fucker was ugly, overweight, out of shape. Then he got his relationship. He gets his wife. Now those two work together. Once their relationship's sorted, he starts growing and improving, getting rich, becoming successful, working out, fixing his hair, looking good. Then he becomes successful. Then he ended his relationship with his wife because he screwed it up and he didn't actually ever learn dating, which is how most people are. That's the difference between someone who learns dating and just gets a good relationship. But stabilizing level 3 should always happen before money, should always happen before anything else. Because once your relationship's down, you can use that as a foundational bedrock to build from. And that's the key. Like I was joking before about being skinny fat. Like I'm getting into some of the best shape I've ever been in. And that's because one of my girlfriends is a MMA fighting nutritionist with abs. I've sent you pictures of her. You've seen her, right? She's ripped, but she's the one that helped me. But she doesn't make fun of me with it. She does it very slowly and guides me through what to say and what to do. And that's a great way of doing it. She's the foundation in that and telling me, hey, you got to track your macros. You got to keep track of what you're eating. If you just change your diet completely, you won't stick with it because you won't like things. So you got to make sure there's stuff in there that you do enjoy. And it's like all that kind of stuff only comes from this foundational basis for our relationship, which lets us move to the next success. Likewise, I'm helping her with her business and guiding her on what steps she should take. Yeah, and then you get into the next level, which is like higher awareness, higher self, which is helping others. And because the airplane analogy, if the gas mask comes down, you put it on yourself first before you give it to someone else, otherwise you pass out. So it's the same thing. You go 1 through 4 first. Now you're successful. Now you got the time to help others and guide them. So yeah, it's funny, man. We're in a very strange world where people are not realistic about dating. I mean, you can think about the fact that prostitution isn't legal anywhere. And now we can't even talk about sex and sexuality on TV because someone's going to get offended. They're like the word seduction. If you go through Facebook's terms and conditions, you'll see seduction and pickup artists. They're banned words. If I write Facebook posts with the word seduction in it, I am against Facebook's terms of service. That doesn't mean it will definitely get removed, but they could remove it if they want to. And that's the world that we currently live in. So the really good guys have vanished. They're all, we saw this with Real Social Dynamics. Real Social Dynamics turned off all their dating stuff. They hid all their field reports and everything. I know, because they hired me to help them do it. They hired me as the business strategist for what they should do. And I was like, yeah, you should hide that stuff if you're concerned about it, you know? So yeah, dude, it's a fascinating world that we're in right now. But the techniques are real. The techniques still work, and the information, you know, is still known. It is solved. Anybody can solve their dating life, providing you'll take the steps that you need to do.
Wow, a lot to unpack there. Interesting, because you did mention, okay, so you said, so it's interesting because obviously you said that, you know, we're in new times, strange times, and there's a lot of bad advice. And obviously I'm sure you're aware of the new wave of advice is all about the whole red pill stuff and, you know, looks, money, status. And you already said like, that's not true. And you've actually told me that as well privately. You were like, you know, you don't believe, you know, the kind of angle I was coming from. And that's really interesting. And you said, so you're saying it's not looks, money, status. The main thing is pre-selection. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, it's three things, right? It's pre-selection, experience with women, and being able to turn people on. Here's the way I look at it, right? Like, I'm guessing, you know, I don't want to pick on you, so let's, but like the average guy down the gym, they're gonna outlift me in everything, right? Like what? That's what I got in terms of biceps, right? So there's something there, but there ain't much.
So, all right.
I lift, bro, but I'm not that good, right? So there's that. And then like you can think in terms of status as being based on where you are in any given situation. So in a gym, the guy who works out a lot and is like and you know and looks good and whatever, he's gonna have a higher status than me when I walk in the gym and I don't know anyone. So he's got looks, he's got status. Now in that scenario, my money, like, because I am rich now, but I didn't used to be when I was doing all this. So we can remove my money from the situation because I won't use it to pick up a chick. But if I'm in that gym and there's a girl there and neither of us have spoken to her, and then as he walks up, he's like working out, like what kind of thing is he gonna say? You know what I mean? How's he gonna talk to that girl? What is he gonna do? Flex and hope that she approaches him, or is he gonna walk up to her and say something? And if he is gonna say something, what do you think he'd be likely to say? Assuming he was gonna use like looks, power, strength, all that shit. What might he say? Give me an example of what he might say.
I don't know. It might just be like, hey, what are you working on today? I don't know, just engage in conversation kind of thing.
Cool. So if I was there, I'd walk next to her, look at her, look at me, look at her, look at me, take 2 steps forward and be like, you ever wonder how I can just walk 2 steps and I'm still faster than you? And she's running on that fucking treadmill and I just take like little tiny steps and I start beating her in the race. And I'm like, come on, girl, run, keep up. I'm still ahead of you. You're going to lose the race. Hurry. What's going on? Why? Move faster, girl. You know what? I'm almost tempted to push the button for you to speed it up. Come. She's going to be cracking up in the middle of her workout. This is the funniest thing. This guy is being a dweeb, right? Or I might even do that thing. You know, you shuffle your feet and make it look like people are going by. And I'm just like, oh my God, you're so fast. And I'm just doing this the whole time, right? And she's fucking laughing. I am going to stand out miles beyond this other guy. And she'll be like, you're fucking funny. Why are you so funny? I was like, I've got to be funny. I can't lift weights. All right, look at me. I can't lift anything. It's so heavy. I didn't even say to her, I was like, hey, could you do me a favor? Could you give me a hand? This one's too big for me. Could you help me with it? And again, she'll be laughing because every other guy in the gym is trying to show off how big and strong he is. Meanwhile, I'm cracking up and just having fun. My girlfriend, the MMA fighter, I go to her class every Monday. Every dude in there is like UFC MMA guy, right? And I'm there and I'm holding up the pad and she hits it and I go, I'm like, I think you squished a duck. And she cracks up laughing. Every girl in the class is laughing. Every dude's like, fucking clown. Come on, bro. Take it seriously. All the girls are cracking up. They're like, I fucking love you. You're hysterical. And that's the point. That has become lost. Dating guys have lost that moment of being hysterical, you know? Or like one time she kicked the pad and I flung myself against the wall. Like she fucking kicked me across the whole room. And I was like, damn, you're strong, girl. And everyone cracked up laughing except the big Jack Broider dudes who were angry that I was fucking around in the class. And they do. They was, dude, you just fuck around in the class all the time. I'm like, yeah, can't help it. Sorry, man. But the girls text me, you're so funny. This is hysterical. That's the point. You got to be that guy, you know? And because that's fun. That's what they want. They want to laugh because laughter triggers oxytocin, which is one of the prime chemicals of attraction. And it's gone. Guys are always like, you know, like you said, like, hey, so what are you working on? How can I help you? She's already got a fitness trainer. In fact, if you understand mansplaining, Telling a woman what she should be doing when she's already got a plan is insulting. But again, guys don't think about that anymore. It's gone. And it's the same with like money and status. Like, because everyone's like, yeah, if you've got money. I'm like, all right, well, how much money is money? Like, do you have to have more than the next guy? Do you have to pull out your bank account and show each other how much money you've got? Like, is that how we do it? Or is it the car you drive? Like, is it specifically the car you drive? Because then, like, all right, I drive a Maserati Gran Turismo. It's a really nice car. If someone's like, yeah, you drive that, but this other guy's got a Phantom. All right, cool. When I want to pick up a chick, I'll go out and I'll rent a Bugatti for the day. Now who's going to win? It's not always about money. It's about, do you know what you're doing with it? And most women just aren't impressed by that money anyway. Every woman I've ever dated has dated someone richer than me, better looking than me, with a bigger dick than me. Every woman I've ever dated. But they have never dated somebody who is as funny as me, who is as thoughtful as I am, who cares about them as much as I do, and who makes every day like fun, like doing fun shit, you know? Like my idea of a good first date, like go for it. First date, guess. What do you think is a good first date?
Me?
Or the average guy. What do you think the average guy thinks is a good first date?
I mean, me personally, like go to the bar, grab a couple drinks. 2 max, try and pull.
Perfect. All right, ready for this? Me, first date, laser tag. You turn up, just the two of you. There's a whole bunch of random people there. And then you're playing laser tag. She gets shot by a 9-year-old. You're like, I don't think that 9-year-old likes you. Watch out, he's after you. It's the most fun day ever, right? If not laser tag, we'll go indoor skydiving. So every other guy she's dated, their first date is to a bar. With me, it's indoor skydiving or laser tag or some other stupid activity. Yo, there's a fairground in town. We're going to a fair. I'm like, what? Why are we going to a fair? I'm going to win you some shit. That is a good first date. Now, we know this. Look at any 80s or 90s movie, the first date. Look at Karate Kid, fairground. We have known this since forever. That is what makes a good first date. Suddenly it's, let's grab coffee or let's go to a bar. Why? She's gone to a bar with everyone. What are you going to talk about? You're going to sit there and talk about the same shit. Go mini golf. One of the best dates I ever went on with a girl was mini golf. As we go around, there's one bit you have to go through a tunnel. They called it the tunnel of love. It's like, I'm pretty sure that means we have to make out. She starts laughing. And I was like, look, I'm not saying that we have to. I'm just saying you're really beautiful and we're in the tunnel of love. Now, in the future, we're going to tell this story to people. And either we're going to say our first date was at mini golf and we went through the tunnel of love and we didn't kiss. Or we're going to tell everyone that we went through the tunnel of love and that's where we had our first kiss. Come here. Boom. First kiss. That's game. Real game. It's smooth. It's funny. You win every time. Trust me, you go down to the gym and you start making all the women laugh, they will be all over you. All of them. Tell you what, I'll give you a technique. I'll give you one. Try this. This is how to use money to win, right? So if you want to use money, there's only one way to do it. Go to a bar packed with beautiful women. Do you know, is there one near you? I assume there is.
Well, I'm in Mexico now, so there's a few.
Okay. Oh, Mexico is so easy. So you're going to go into a bar with a ton of women. And be careful because Mexico is dangerous. And you're going to take $100 and you're going to ask the bartender for as many shots as you can get for $100. And he's going to pack the bar with tequila. There'll be like 50 of them or something, $2 a shot, right? The whole bar's full. And then you're going to turn around and be like, I've just moved to Mexico and I don't know anyone, but I want to celebrate. Tequila's on me. Now, what's cool is because you didn't say everyone's shots are on me, people don't come to the bar and just buy whatever they want. That's going to save your pocket. You are literally only going to pay $100. But 50 drinks is going to make everyone come talk to you. Now, instantly, guys are going to hate you. This is why I said be careful. Because the guy's going to be like, fuck that good-looking, ripped black guy. I'm not going to go and talk to him. But the women, they're all going to come and get a free drink. All of them. You will single-handedly separate every woman in the bar from every guy that is an arsehole. The nice guys are going to come up and chat to you. They're all going to come over, all the women. And then all you got to do is when they come over, be like, hey, nice to meet you. I don't know anyone. My name's JP. Good to meet you. In one night, I guarantee you get like 10 girls' phone numbers. How do I know this? Because that is what I did on my very first night in Texas. My first night in Texas, I didn't know anyone. I came to the bar with my roommate, who was a girl, and we rock up in the bar, and I stand at the bar. I drop $100. I'm in a college town. There's like 30 people in the bar, 20 of them are women. And I'm like, yo, It's my first night in Texas. I don't know anyone. I want to celebrate. I just bought a whole bunch of shots. Shots are free. I just want to meet people. Boom. Everyone in the bar came to talk to me. That is $100 and it is more valuable than anything else. Now, one environment where I teach guys a lot is in strip clubs. Like I teach in strip clubs. I've been teaching in strip clubs for years. One of my favorite things to do in a strip club is like, if you were going to show off wealth in a strip club, go on, JP. How'd you do it? What could you do with money to show off wealth and use your money for value? Give it a go.
I guess you're just going to make it rain, right?
Make it rain. How much do you reckon that would cost to make it rain?
I've been to a strip club once. One strip club.
Okay.
And I bought one once and I regretted it.
All right. So I love this. I can see a question from Simply Balling, so I'm going to respond to him as well in a second. But I'll tell you, buy Krispy Kreme donuts. You know this. When you work out, what happens after you work out? Imagine you worked out for 8 hours straight. What would you want more than anything?
What, food?
Food, right? Now, if you work out 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, because that's what strippers do. You ever climb a pole with nothing holding on? That's a lot of cardio. Strippers can eat anything they want and they don't gain weight. Anything. They can absolutely eat a Krispy Kreme donut at the end of the night. When I rock up to a strip club, I bring 3 boxes of Krispy Kreme donuts with me. Every girl, they are eyeballing the donuts while they're on the pole. And I'm just sitting there. I open it and I'll be like, what is that? I'll do that. All these guys making it rain. And the girl's like looking at my donuts while these guys throwing money at her. Because every guy throws money at her. They don't stand out. Me, my Krispy Kreme donuts, she'll come straight up to me. She's like, are they Krispy Kreme? I'm like, raspberry filled, baby. And she's like, can I have one? I was like, hell yeah, you can have one, especially if it keeps you away from that creepy guy that keeps staring at you. Done. Every girl in the strip club. So there's a logical fallacy going on in the chat, right? Where Simply Balling says, can Adam name an attractive model who's dating a broke, poor man? The attractive models I know are with rich, successful men. Of course, because you only know them if they're famous. So everyone they're dating is rich, right? That's the point. However, I can absolutely name beautiful women dating not rich, successful men because I'm friends with a whole bunch of them. I got a bunch, like just look at the average Instagram model who's got like not millions of followers, but 30,000. She will be hot. She will be beautiful. Her boyfriend will be taking her pictures and her boyfriend probably has a 9-to-5 job. He's probably a nobody. And she's making enough money to help pay their rent. Like I got one very, very good friend of mine. Again, her name's Crystal. So good luck if you can find my Instagram, you can find her. Crystal's boyfriend is a great guy. He's a very average guy. Crystal makes money from Instagram, from promos and everything she's got. And she's got on OnlyFans as well. But I know that she doesn't make bank because I know them personally. Her and her boyfriend, you know, they live in a $1,500 a month apartment. They're not rich. She's stunning. She get every day, there's simps on there. Oh my God, you're so hot. Oh my God, I'd kill to be with you. And she hides the fact that she has a boyfriend, obviously. But her boyfriend is an average guy. He's not super great, good looking. They live in, you know, Austin, Texas. But like, he's fine. He's nice. Yeah, I know countless guys like that dating crazy, hot, beautiful women. But they're not famous, so sure, you don't know them. But it's the famous people hang out with other famous people. So of course, the most beautiful are dating the richest. They're also the most successful. They're, you know, the most fit. They all fit in that category because they're living a life of excellence. They're all in the top 1% of everything. In the real world, when you come to average people, yeah, beautiful people. I mean, what is beauty? Let's summarize beauty, right? Beauty is a good diet, working out, knowing how to pose, and knowing how to do makeup. Done. Is there anything stopping a woman doing those things? Like motivation, maybe? Caring enough to it? Anybody can do that. Look how many more beautiful women there are in the world since the advent of Twitch and Instagram. There are more and more beautiful women because they're competing with their looks online. Before that, no one really needed to do that. That wasn't a career choice, right? You couldn't be like, I'm going to be an Instagram model and be a Twitch streamer. Ah! That wasn't a choice. You'd be like, yo, I'm going to be a librarian or a secretary, or I'm going to work in sales, marketing, PR. Because things have changed, people have done that. But what's stopping a guy being good looking if you want to be good looking, right? You know, work out down the gym, do that. You can definitely do it. But the amount of men that I know that work out down the gym, are good looking, have lots of money, and are single is crazy. The theory of you have to be good looking and rich to get women doesn't match. Because if that was true, Brad Pitt would never have got divorced, ever. He would never have failed at his relationship. If it was truly money, good looks, and being rich, Brad Pitt would have stayed with one girl and still be with her because he got like Angelina Jolie, right? Mother of his children. Why are they not together anymore? Because it's more than beauty. It's more than money. There are other factors that matter. And you know, if you look at society, like let's look at Jack Black. Jack Black, you know, he's famous, but he's not exactly sexy, is he? And yet women are like, this guy's so fucking hot. I love him. Yeah. You don't have to be rich or ripped. You should do those things for you, by the way. You shouldn't do them to get a girl. You should do them for you. Like, I agree with this. You should try and become rich. You should work out. You should, you know, be successful. But for you, not for a woman. For a woman, you want to do the things she wants, which is prove that other women in your life don't think you're creepy and that you can hang out with them and that you're fun. Make them laugh. Make them entertained. Turn them on. Know how to make a woman think about sex. Now you're in a good situation. Now you got women that are going to be all over you. You know, like I've slept with like, I don't know, maybe 10 porn stars, give or take. And the one that cracks me up, right, is I have a 6-inch dick. I'm saying it publicly. It's not big. It's not small. I am like literally fucking average. Like literally my name was Average Frustrated. Everything about me is average, right? I'm average. So I have an average length dick. Just announce that to the world. So I'm there with a porn star and I've been dating, like this woman is so famous that the other day, I'm going to tell you so much about my personal life. I had a vasectomy because I got 5 kids, right? So I had a vasectomy. And when you have a vasectomy, they ask you, do you want to save your sperm to have kids in the future and also like for medical stuff or whatever? And I was like, yes, I do. So you have to jack off into a cup. So I'm sitting there in the thing and I'm like, fuck, I got to jack off into the cup. Like this is a thing. And, you know, I'm like, fuck, like, what am I going to do here? And, you know, so in the end, I was like, I bet they've got porn magazines. So sure enough, there's porn magazines. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to try this. But good God, I hope it's not that girl that I slept with. And I open it up and it's the fucking girl that I dated and had sex with. I was like, I can't jack off to her. I broke up with her. So I'm like texting my girl, like, you got to send me naked pictures. Like, you got to hook me up here. Right. But the point is, that's the level of fame she is. So when I was dating her, this chick wake up in the morning one day and she's like, hey, baby, listen, I'm not going to want to have sex with you tonight because the guy I'm having sex with has a 13-inch dick. He's ripped and he's absolutely huge. He makes lots and lots of money. But if you want to have sex, we've got to do it in the morning because it's going to hurt in the evening. That's kind of like what it's like to date somebody who is that much more beautiful, that much more sexual or whatever than you are, right? That's like a very, very real scenario that you find yourself with. And yet, despite the fact that she's on porn sets having sex with all these other women, other men and other women and whatever, she still wanted to come back to me every single night. She wanted to have sex with me every single night specifically because I'm funny. I'm entertaining. I care about her. I'm a good guy. And and we stayed together for months. And then I broke up with her because, you know, porn stars are hard to date. Lots of reasons. It's not because they're having sex with other people. It is because they've, you know, got problems. But the point is that it wasn't the dick. It wasn't the muscles. It wasn't the money. It wasn't the success. It was fun, humor, care, what have you. So like Mike's got a question, right? What's your skincare routine? That's a fun one. My skincare routine, when I was 18, I watched Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in the UK. And this dude goes on TV and he looks flawless. His skin's perfect. The guy's just good looking. And he looked like he was like 25. And so like, how old are you? And he's like 40. And they're like, fuck, what's your secret? And the secret was he put lotion on his skin every day, sun cream. And so from the age of 18, I put sun cream on my skin every day. And now I'm 40. And I look in the mirror and I'm like, wow, yeah, I don't look bad for 40. Sun cream's great. So yeah, that's it. That's all I do. I shower, I wash, I scrub my face, I use sun cream. The end. I also don't eat completely badly. For you guys, you don't know your food, what you're eating is going to affect. So I don't eat the best. I like chocolate, but I don't eat badly either. So like, I'm not eating fried foods. You know, I'm eating whole foods mostly. But yeah, but chocolate's my weakness. It's a good one. Everyone says, thanks for the words of wisdom. Yeah, so this is the thing. Like, I wish, for everyone watching this, I wish more people knew about the stuff that really works. Like, I put my link, like aceformula.com is where I teach everything. It's all free. You can go there and get it for free. And I always tell people, like, I will teach you the ACE formula for free via my website. So you want to learn the ACE formula, you want to learn what I teach, You can download guides, you can watch videos. It's all free. We charge you if you want us to help you implement it. That's where the money comes from, because you're taking time from us. We can't hang out with our friends and family and stuff, right? But we've been teaching this for 16 years. It's easy. You know, abundance, confidence, and the ability to escalate. You got to have these three things. If you have those three, it makes like you look young. Yeah, I've got 5 kids and sex with lots of beautiful women. It's amazing how youthful that keeps you. You know, plus, let's be real. One of my girlfriends, I told you, is an MMA fighter. Like, you think that she, like, I remember the first night we got together and share something. This is amazing. It's one of my favorite stories. She's like, I don't know if I can date you if you can't beat me up. And like, we had a fight. Like, she wanted to fight me on day 1. Like, we had to like wrestle. It was awesome. And to this day, like, you know, we spar and we play around, and it's like a healthy part of our relationship, but it keeps you young. You know, when you're play fighting and laughing and bouncing around, and obviously she's younger than me. Both my girlfriends are younger than me. So, you know, it gives you that youthful energy. You got to keep it. You know, you can't let it go. So yeah, I'm blessed that I'm 40 and I've still got my energy, despite having an arm in a sling from an injury. But you got to keep the energy up. You got to keep having fun. You know, that's the key.
Wow. Okay. So obviously, if everyone wants to get in touch with you, just go to your website, yeah, aceformula.com.
Yeah, go to aceformula.com. Like, there's a guide you can download that breaks down the whole ACE formula, so you can learn it, and you can go. I already told you, you can get the handbook of relationship initiation yourself, and you can read it, or you can go through the ACE formula and we'll teach it to you. We break it down in layman's speak. It's easier. You know, if you don't want to read a textbook of psychological studies, which a lot of people don't, then you can go through us. The guide is free. There's video trainings that are free. The program itself, you do have to pay for. It's 6 months long, and we will solve your dating problems. They're done, but we're doing it with you, right? Getting it solved. And it's not like you pay forever. It's 6 months and done. In 6 months, all your dating problems will go away. The end. I have never had a student at the end of 6 months that's like, man, I've still got dating problems. They're just done. And then you can also contact us via the site. So you can message us and be like, hey, you know, I've got some questions for you or whatever, and that's fine. Like, my team will reach out. But you know, we've had thousands of students go through this program at this point, and we haven't had one person say, yo, that didn't work for me. So, you know, it's the real deal. It solves everything if you want to do it. For
real. Wow. Do you know what? I had a list of like 10 questions to ask you, but we have to do a part 2. Maybe one day we can do it.
Sure. Or you can do them now if you want. I'm not in a rush. I'm good. I got time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Do it. Bust them out.
Well, so based on what you were saying as well, so obviously humor, what I gather, humor, pre-selection, giving women experiences, right? Like putting effort.
Yeah.
So what are some actionable steps for anyone watching this? Number 1 for pre-selection, especially now in the digital age.
Yeah, so pre-selection is easy. Make 4 friends that are women and don't try and have sex with them. Just make actual friends. Now, that can come as easy as reaching out to a cousin and asking, like, of a similar age, and asking her or him if they know any women, and say, I just want to make some female friends. I just want to get talking to them. It can be as simple as that. But the easiest way, especially like you go down the gym, like, can you still work out right now, or you're in Mexico? It's different.
Yeah.
I would go down the gym and join a class and talk to people that are in a class, as opposed to working out at the fitness stuff. Because the classes, they'll chat afterwards. They'll get talking to each other. Add them on social media. Boom. Now you've got some friends. This is the easiest method. Like in the ACE formula, we teach a different method. We've got whole methods of how to generate friendships and stuff. But like a very simple one is you can do it like that, right? But it can be as simple as just going to the bar. But you have to say, I'm not going to sleep with this woman. This woman is my friend. Done. The end. We ain't going anywhere else. That's your abundance. And you get 3 or 4 friends and you hang out with them. You go to dinner. I'll give you an example. One of my students in the ACE formula, he started organizing a potluck dinner. So he would invite people once a month. He organized it at his house. You can cook a meal, cook a dish, and come to his house, and they all share the dishes, right? And it's all women. So it's like 6, 7 women. They all turn up with a different dish. And they don't feel like he's hitting on them, because he isn't. And they just sit there and share food. I think half of them probably think he's gay. But it doesn't matter, because they're his friends. But then when he meets a woman he wants to date, he invites her to the potluck. Now she turns up, and he's got 6 beautiful women flirting and laughing and giggling with her. And she's like, who is this guy? Pre-selection. Boom. Right there. That woman, she wants him every time. He doesn't have to do anything. His first date, come to a potluck dinner at my place. In COVID times, it's even better, because he's like, it's a small group. It's under 10 people. We all quarantine. Come hang out. So it works. That's ACE formula. Then confidence. Confidence comes from experience. The more you do stuff, the more confident you get. But the key is making somebody laugh, right? And making somebody laugh, I always find it's like the shit that was funny when you were 8 years old is really funny now. Like it's hysterical. But you have to tap into that 8-year-old energy and like find those funny little moments, right? So for example, you can also just say what everyone else is thinking. So like at the end of yoga, like if I was doing a yoga class, I'd wait for like the teacher to sort of like be like, is everyone good? And I'd be that punk, raise my hand. I'd be like, I've got a question, it's kind of awkward. Can I have permission to ask an awkward question in front of everyone? And I was like, yeah, of course, it's a safe space. Everyone can say anything. I'm like, does anyone else have to hold gas in during yoga, or is it just me? And then everyone's fucking laughing, right? Because we're talking about farting. And everyone's like, oh my God, that's so funny. It's so funny, right? But that's the kind of thing. And everyone's cracking up like, yo, you're hilarious. Yeah? Not every woman's going to love that, but the ones that do, I'm great. And there's so many other ways. But the key is it's non-offensive. It's just something that we're all thinking, but no one else is saying. Yeah? And so that would be like humor and confidence. And then again, inviting people to come and hang out with my friends. That's another part of confidence, right? Hey, me and my friends are going to go and we're going to go on a hike. You should come with us. They turn up and I got 4 other women there. It's easy. And then lastly, it's escalation, being able to turn somebody on. Now, turning somebody on is different. You need a different energy. It's got to be calmer. It's got to be more chill. But watch, I'll show you how easy it is. Look at this. everyone watching, watch JP's face. Watch, I'll show you. I'm not going to turn you on, JP, by the way, but I am going to get a reaction out of you. So watch this. JP, whatever you do not think about the kind of porn that you watch. Don't think about it. Don't think about what other people would think about. Don't think about if anyone knew. Just don't think about it. Now, if you watch what's happening in his face, he instantly starts nodding. His eyes start multiple blinking. The smile gets bigger because JP is 100% thinking about the kind of porn that he watches. That's it. So it's inception. When I tell you don't think about something, you think about it. So part of getting a woman turned on is like if I first meet somebody and I'm like hanging out, I might say to her, I'm like, isn't it funny that everyone pretends they don't masturbate and yet everyone does? She's instantly thinking about herself masturbating. And so now I can't start the conversation like that. I've got to be at the friendly, funny vibe thing. But I might say it at my potluck with all the women in my house. I might say it there. And then we all start talking about masturbating. And then I'm like, all right, I've recently discovered a new technique. I was like, but first of all, and again, I always get permission to say anything, especially now with consent. I'm like, do I have permission to share something that is a little bit awkward? And he goes like, yeah. I'm like, well, I've damaged my right arm and I have recently become a left-hand masturbator. I was like, and it is a very interesting experience masturbating with your left hand because it feels like somebody else is doing it. Also, my dick feels bigger and I don't understand why. Because my hands are the same size, but my dick feels bigger in my left hand. And then women will be like, but you have 2 girlfriends. Why are you masturbating? And I was like, because I'm 40 years old and I'm on testosterone and now I need an orgasm 4 times a day. And there's only so, like right now I'm here at my office, there's no women around. Like I could phone up my girl and be like, come here, but it'll take her a while. So it's more practical to take matters into your own hand. But my point is, have you ever tried masturbating with your other hand? And that kind of conversation, they're all talking about sex now and they're all laughing and joking. And they're like, oh my God, that guy's hilarious. But we've shifted the conversation into a sexual nature. And we're dealing with something that people don't even want to admit. But I'm talking about it and I'm admitting it and I'm being real. That's the kind of guy they can date. And now when I'm hanging out one-on-one with them, they'll be like, it's funny what you were talking about masturbating because I've been single for 6 months and I feel like the only action I get is from my vibrator. And these are the kind of conversations the average guy doesn't have a woman come and bring them, but they bring them to me. And I'm like, oh my God, I bet you're using the bullet. And they'll be like, how did you know? I'm like, because the rabbit is a marketing toy. It's never any good. The bullet is 1,000 times better. Right? Now we're going to have a discussion, a deep discussion about sex toys. I'm like, but the question is, do you read porn or watch it? And then they'll be like, I watch it. And I'm like, reading it's better. And the woman's like, what do you mean? I'm like, trust me, reading is 1,000 times better. It gets into your head better. The image stays there longer. Reading porn is 1,000,000,000 times better. I was like, I bet you got some really good sites. And I'm like, look, if you trust me, tell me the kind of porn you're into, if you're brave enough, and I'll text you a good story. That whole dynamic is now shifted. Now we're talking about sex. Now we're talking about much better things, yeah? So, and this art is lost. Guys have lost this for, you know, and I understand society, the way that it works. It didn't want anyone to know this stuff. And a lot of the pickup guys back in the day, they ruined it. They took it to the extreme. They were trying to, you don't remember, pickup was around at the same time as social experiments. And so people were doing dumb shit and it was ruining everything. So, all right, next question.
Yeah, you actually kind of inadvertently answered a ton of the questions. I was just going through them. I'm like, you actually answered a lot of these. Okay, but last one. How do you? So it seems like yeah, you're like the way you break it down makes total sense. But how do you see as we go more into a digital world? How do you like? It's going to be a lot. It's a lot harder, right? A lot of guys are struggling because obviously online it's all based on looks. So what do you say to that based on your theories? And now we're in 2021 and we're it's only going to get more digitalized. What do you see? How do you see things changing?
Man, it's so much easier. Everyone at the Ace Formula is laughing. The guy is like, man, everything got easier with COVID. It's so funny because I hear that. I have people say like, oh, it got harder. It got easier. So here's why it got easier. More women went online. Men were already online. The ratio changed. We went from every dude had a Tinder profile and some women did to everyone does. And the women don't know the techniques. They've never seen them before because they're not experienced. The amount of women that are like, it's my first time. Oh my God, dude. That stuff, they've never seen anything. Like, do you know about the Connect 4 technique?
No.
It's old school stuff. So Connect 4, you can, in emojis, you can draw a Connect 4 board. And you can place the first circle by, basically you go white circles all the way across in like rows until you draw a Connect 4 board and replace one of the white circles with a blue circle. Send her that as the first message with your turn underneath. And now in emojis, she'll play Connect 4 with you in any dating app. Now imagine she looks at her dating app and it reads down, hey babe, hey, happy Wednesday, good to meet you. Hey, hi, you're hot. Hey, what up? And then circle, 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 circle. She's like, the fuck is this? She can click on that shit. And then when she does, she's in the middle of a Connect 4 game. Now you play Connect 4 with her. That guy, she's gonna respond to you every single time. Now, you know what iPhones have, right? iPhones have games that you can play via text. So the next step is you say to her, yo, you want to play Battleship? And she's like, yeah, can we do that in the app? I'm like, no, but I've got an iPhone. We can start playing Battleship on the iPhone if you want. By the way, my name's Adam. Boom. Now I got her out the app. Now I'm her Battleship buddy. When she beats me in the game, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe you shot my Battleship. Yo, you got 20 seconds. I want to tell you something. She's like, yeah, I'll pick up the phone her. I'm like, I am literally laughing in hysterics right now. I swear I had you. I swear you were down. And she's like, no, you can't beat me. But I got this girl. That's mine. We're laughing. We're talking on the phone. We're laughing about Battleship. And I'm going to say to her, how good are you at laser tag? Don't play. Tell me the truth. How good are you? Because if you're no good, that's fine. But if you've got skills, I'm taking you to laser tag tomorrow. And she goes, I can't come tomorrow. I've got work. All right, when can you come? At the weekend. All right, laser tag this weekend? Yeah. I'm like, all right, on me, I'm paying. There's also $3 pizza. I'll pay for the pizza too. I'm a spender like that. I'm a baller. Don't doubt me. I will buy pizza. Got it? Now that's game. That girl's going to come. I just took her out the app. We meet up. We go laser tag. We eat pizza. And I'm like, look, I got to be honest with you. The whole Connect Thor thing was just a gambit. I actually thought you were hot.
Yeah. No, I definitely see it. Like, you sound like just good energy, fun vibes, giving women experiences, and yeah, I think a lot of guys definitely need to learn this as well. Wow, Adam, go on.
No, they've forgotten. They don't know anymore. It's all, like I said, it's all these influencers. They've got it wrong. All these K-pop smooth hair weirdos, you know. There's one more question. Is it better to live in a very nice place with roommates or live alone in a more humble, less expensive place? For me, my ideal would be roommates that are all beautiful women. My second best would be alone in a humble place. But my third best is out in the middle of nowhere in a big place. So I know it sounds crazy, but I'm always telling people, live a long way away and throw cool parties. That way your place looks baller because you can get a bigger place and you're bringing people to you. It's your logistics. You're in charge. It's much better. And like people are like, yeah, but it's a long way to the club. I'm like, why are you meeting people in the club? We have online apps. Like I said, COVID, everything's better. You watch over the next 5 years. You remember I do business stuff. So over the next 5 years, everyone's going to move out the cities. No need to be in a city anymore. They'll all move for bigger homes out in the middle of nowhere.
For sure. Wow, yeah, we could go all day. We definitely have to do a part 2. Adam, thank you so much. Even though I'm going to have to digest what you said, I'll probably watch it back. And yeah, hopefully everyone watching, you got great value from this. It's been a pleasure having you on, Adam.
Thank you.
Yes, everyone take care and we'll catch you all on the next one, yeah?
Thanks for having me, man. Be safe.
All right, nice one.